Forgiveness isn't saying it's okay, it's saying I won't let this control me. Too often, people confuse forgiveness with weakness, as if letting go means letting someone off the hook. But real forgiveness is fierce. It's a conscious decision to reclaim your peace even when the pain is still fresh. You're not excusing the wrong or pretending it didn't hurt. You're refusing to let it chain you down. Forgiveness isn't approval. It's freedom. Forget the myth that forgiving means forgetting. Scars remind us of what we've survived, not what we've excused. Forgiveness doesn't erase memory. It rewrites your future. When you choose to forgive, you're not rewriting history. You're rewriting your story. You're choosing strength over bitterness, healing over hate. Because forgiveness isn't about them. It's about you finally being free to breathe again. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as a gift we give to someone else. But the truth is, it's the most powerful gift you give yourself. When we hold on to anger or resentment, it's like carrying a heavy weight that drags us down. Forgiving isn't about excusing the other person's mistakes or telling them they were right. It's about freeing yourself from the toxic grip of bitterness so you can live fully and peacefully. The moment you forgive, you break the chains that keep you stuck in pain, and you reclaim your power to move forward. The real battle of forgiveness happens inside you, not with the person who hurt you. It's a private act of courage and self-love. By choosing to forgive, you're saying that your peace matters more than your pain. It's not about forgetting or pretending the hurt didn't happen. It's about choosing healing over hurt, growth over grudges. Forgiveness transforms your heart and mind, freeing you to create a life defined not by wounds, but by resilience and hope. Forgiveness and reconciliation are often lumped together, but they are very different journeys. Forgiveness is an internal process. It's your decision to release anger, resentment, or the desire for revenge. It doesn't require the other person's involvement or even their awareness. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the burden of pain and choosing peace for your own heart, regardless of what happens next. It's personal, private, and completely within your control. Reconciliation, on the other hand, is a mutual process that requires trust, communication, and sometimes time, and it's not always possible or healthy. It means rebuilding a relationship after a breach, which can only happen if both parties are willing to engage honestly and work toward healing. While forgiveness can be a first step toward reconciliation, it doesn't guarantee it. You can forgive someone deeply and still decide that reconciling with them isn't right for your well-being or safety. Forgiveness frees you. Reconciliation rebuilds, but only when the foundation is strong enough. Forgiveness isn't a single moment. It's a journey that unfolds over time. It often starts with a choice, but that choice must be made again and again, especially when old wounds resurface. The pain doesn't vanish overnight, and the emotions don't neatly disappear. Forgiveness is layered. Some days it feels complete, and others it feels impossible. That's okay. Healing takes time, and every step forward, no matter how small, is progress toward peace. This journey requires courage, patience, and grace, especially with yourself. You may have to process anger, grief, or betrayal more than once before the weight truly begins to lift. There's no shortcut, and there's no right timeline. What matters is your willingness to keep walking, to keep choosing healing over hurt. Forgiveness isn't about being perfect at letting go. It's about being faithful to the process, trusting that freedom is found not in rushing the journey, but in staying on the path. Letting go isn't easy, but it becomes possible. With intentional strategies that create space for healing, journaling allows you to process your emotions honestly and privately. Writing out your pain can help untangle complex feelings and reveal patterns that keep you stuck. Mindfulness helps you stay rooted in the present instead of reliving the hurt. By focusing on your breath or simply observing your thoughts without judgment, you begin to release the emotional grip of the past. These tools ground you and make room for peace to enter. Empathy and therapy go even deeper in supporting the journey of letting go. Practicing empathy doesn't mean justifying someone's wrongs. It means understanding that people often act from their own wounds. This shift in perspective can soften resentment and open the door to forgiveness. Therapy, whether individual or group, offers a safe space to explore your pain with guidance and support. A trained professional can help you navigate triggers, develop healthy boundaries, and build resilience. Letting go isn't passive. It's active, intentional work that over time rewires your heart for freedom. Forgiveness opens the door to peace and emotional freedom like nothing else can. When you release the grip of resentment, you quiet the mental noise that drains your energy and clouds your perspective. Bitterness keeps you tethered to the past, but forgiveness untangles those knots, allowing your mind and heart to breathe again. The weight lifts, your stress eases, and you begin to experience a calm that isn't dependent on circumstances. It comes from within. Forgiveness also transforms your relationships and deepens your relationship with yourself. When you let go of grudges, you're more open, present, and emotionally available to others. It improves communication, builds trust, and breaks cycles of conflict. But perhaps the most powerful shift happens internally. Forgiveness fosters self-compassion. It teaches you to extend grace not just to others, but to yourself, reminding you that healing is possible, growth is ongoing, and you're worthy of both. Maria's story. After her sister betrayed her trust by spreading a personal secret, Maria was devastated. For years, the hurt festered, creating distance in their once close bond. Every family gathering became a silent reminder of the pain. But one day, exhausted by the emotional weight, Maria decided to start journaling. Through her writing, she uncovered how deeply the anger was affecting her. Slowly, she practiced empathy, realizing her sister acted out of her own insecurities. With time and help from a therapist, Maria forgave her. They didn't immediately return to how things were, but Maria felt lighter, more peaceful, and finally free from the burden she had carried for so long. James's story. James grew up with an absent father who walked out when he was just 8 years old. For most of his adult life, James carried anger, blaming his dad for every struggle, his fear of commitment, his trust issues, his self-doubt. But in his 30s, after the birth of his own son, something shifted. James didn't want to pass that pain down another generation. He began going to therapy and, over time, worked through the grief and resentment. Forgiving his father didn't mean forgetting the abandonment. It meant choosing not to let it define him. That decision gave James the freedom to be fully present for his own family, to love without walls, and to build a life no longer chained to the past. The village of Luma. In the small village of Luma, a long-standing feud between two families had divided the community for decades. What began as a land dispute had grown into generations of bitterness, with neighbors taking sides and friendships breaking apart. But when a devastating flood hit the village, it forced everyone to come together. In the midst of rebuilding, one elder from each family stood before the townspeople and publicly forgave the other. The silence that followed was powerful. And then, healing began. Walls came down. People who hadn't spoken in years shared meals, rebuilt homes, and laughed again. Forgiveness didn't erase the history, but it rewrote the future. The village wasn't just restored physically. It was reborn with unity, compassion, and a shared sense of hope. Forgiveness doesn't just heal hearts. It rebuilds bridges that anger burned down. When one person chooses to let go, entire communities can begin to rise.